about a month of work has gone into this. Nice to officially meet you.
Likewise.
Welcome to Georgia.
Appreciate it. 870 miles.
870?
From Houston, yeah.
All right, so here we are. We have another IS300 in the shop, but this is not like any other IS300 because it is an IS300 wagon. And this is the owner right here. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. My name's Aaron from Houston, Texas, and this is my 2002 Lexus IS300 Sport Cross wagon. I actually have owned it for about 2 years now. Facebook Marketplace, saw it listed in Austin. You know, drove to Austin with a buddy of mine and you know, met the guy. The car was a little more rough than the pictures showed, you know, because
yeah,
it looks
it
like,
always is.
Yeah, so it looks like at some point it was stanced, you know, the fenders have been rolled and stuff, so you can see.
Yeah, I did kind of notice that on the front, but.
So I ended up, you know, talking him down a little bit and he accepted, and I've just been driving it, you know, and
nice.
I always loved the wagons. I mean, I'm just a big wagon fan. Period.
Yeah, definitely.
So I always told myself if I was ever in the position, you know, to get an IS300 wagon, that I would do it. And of course, this one popped up on Facebook, and I was in the position, so went for it.
As you kind of mentioned, you're from Houston, Texas.
From Houston, Texas, yeah.
And he just drove this thing all the way from Houston, Texas.
870 miles.
870 miles. The reason why he came here is because we were going to be doing a 3UZ swap.
That's right.
So it's going to be similar to Yanni's car, but I'd like to say it's going to be a step above, because Yanni's car was a little rushed. The whole point was kind of like, let's get this done as fast as we can. Now the whole point of this is let's get it done as good as we can. Now your car is already manual swapped.
It is. That was one of the good things about it. It does have a factory W55 manual swap from a OEM.
Okay, so it didn't come like this from the factory, right? They never did.
Yeah, so the wagons never came manual. They were all automatic. So this one actually has been swapped with the factory IS300 manual transmission.
So this is what the factory
Correct.
normal ones use. Correct. Okay. Are you all at all worried about the W55 surviving with the 3UZ?
I don't think so, because I don't drive like an ape, so I think
fair enough.
I think it'll be just fine.
Do you know how heavy these things are?
I actually don't. I've never actually.
We could put it on scales too if you want. I've got scales.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little heavier than I thought actually.
Really?
3480. All right, not the lightest thing. Could we get that down into 3390 with the 3UZ? I don't know, maybe. So yeah, pretty much the plan. We're gonna start off by dynoing it with the 2JZ, which will be kind of interesting because we did Yanni's car, but that had the auto. Then we pulled the engine out and put the new one in. I mean, that's essentially it. And then we're doing a custom exhaust, custom intake, and some other goodies. Yep. One other thing that we didn't mention in the intro, you're planning on driving this to the tail of the Dragon right after it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the plan, is after I pick it up, I'm gonna take it up to the tail of the Dragon. This time I'm gonna bring my son up here so he can experience it. So it's gonna be an awesome experience for sure.
Right, so I have to make it reliable. Hey. Come straight back. Keep on this side a little bit. Yeah, it's just straight right there. So we got the wagon on the dyno. We got the run from Yanni's automatic 2JZ pulled up, so we can have a little comparison. I think it's time to figure out what this boat anchor makes.
I'm gonna say 176.
Okay, so you think it's gonna make less than Yanni's?
I mean, I've never driven another IS300, and this one feels slow to me, so I think 176.
You know, it's a bad sign, is every IS300 owner says that. This thing feels really slow. It's stunning how similar the curves are.
Yeah.
I mean, it really makes me feel good about the dyno working, because I mean, it's pretty much neck and neck. Yours just has a little bit of top end over Yanni's. Yeah. Maybe that's the auto trans, I don't know. Yeah, 3 more horsepower, and obviously it kicks in, because that's where it downshifted and then, you know, actually worked.
Yeah.
But, and then similar like peak power too, or our rev limiter and everything, so. Nice. Very cool.
It's a healthy 2J if anybody wants to buy it.
Yeah, there you go. So we have to drain all the fluids, remove the exhaust, disassemble the front clip, and then kind of just pull the engine and trans out the front. Time to pull it out. That was easy. Boat anchor is out of there. Put it somewhere, probably just off in this corner. Since we need the transmission, I'm gonna go ahead and pull that off now, and then we can kind of just shove the engine into some sort of corner somewhere. Not very many corners available right now, but. So before we can just put the 3UZ into the car, and get it running and driving and be done with the project, there are two main things that have to happen. First, we have to prep the chassis, and then we have to prep the engine. On the chassis side, we have to do some modification to the subframe. We have to move some brake lines and ABS stuff out of the way. We're gonna have to do some wiring, and most importantly, some cleaning. On the engine side, we have to do things like put the adapter plate on with the new transmission, modify the exhaust manifolds, and then just some smaller stuff like putting the wiring harness on it, putting the serpentine belt on it, torquing everything down, checking for leaks. We are waiting on some parts for the engine from the owner of the car, so I think we're gonna start by prepping the chassis. And the first thing to do is to clean this engine bay. Well, the engine bay and the subframe, the steering rack, everything is all clean, looking way nicer. Now, I'm not gonna get covered in grease when I'm working on it, although I will say that the 2J that came out of it wasn't really leaking much, so it was pretty clean anyway. But now we can start the modifications. So I'm gonna do things like take out the throttle cable, move the ABS, remove all the lines we don't need, and then we can start test fitting. Gonna go ahead and put our power steering AN adapter in. This is the factory fitting, M16 by 1.5. New one, M16 by 1.5, but to a -6. So I got most of that done. The major thing was moving the brake ABS controller and kind of bending and securing the brake lines. That's really the main thing that has to be modified on these besides the subframe. And I think I did a pretty good job. I actually unbolted each brake line from the ABS controller and bent it straight by hand. Because when I did Yanni's car, I kind of just pulled the freaking entire ABS thing out, and all the brake lines got wavy, and it didn't look very clean. This one is not like that. They're much straighter. It looks cleaner. I made a little bracket to secure them against the strut tower, and then I also got the power steering return line on the other side all secured. Now the only question is, did I move over the ABS controller enough? And we're about to find out, because we're gonna go ahead and test fit the engine for the first time. That'll tell us if this ABS thing works, and we can mark where we need to cut the subframe. So after I removed the oil filter housing, we got it pretty much sitting where we want. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the subframe where we think we're gonna have to cut. Looks like the brake thing is going to work as long as I modify the filler for the power steering pump, which I kind of wanted to do anyway. So I will modify that, and then I think we will be good to go. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do this subframe chop. You can get away with just smashing the heck out of the subframe with a hammer, but one, that doesn't look very good, and two, no matter how much you smash it, it's still very tight. And sometimes it's nice just to have ample clearance. So we're gonna do a chop. Just gotta cut it, notch it, weld it, paint it. And I think it's gonna look better, be easier to install and uninstall, and just have more clearance. Initial rough subframe cut has been made. Before I plate it up and weld it up and do all that, I do want to test fit the engine. But before we do that, I want to do the other things that we discovered when we first test fit it. So we have to finesse the firewall just a little bit. We have to actually mount the ABS controller. And then for now, just gonna remove the fill tube for the power steering pump. Alexa, shower off.
Okay.
I want to take a moment from my morning here at the shop to talk to you about this video's sponsor. And that is Groons. Man, this product has become part of my everyday routine. Now, every day I'm at the shop working. Every day I go home and I edit. Well, every morning I wake up and I have some Groons. What are Groons? Well, they're delicious for one, but more importantly, they're a convenient, comprehensive formula packed into a snack pack a day. It's not a multivitamin. It's not a greens gummy or a prebiotic. It's all those things. All of those things in one. Groons has 60 ingredients, over 20 vitamins and minerals, whole food vegetables, whole food fruits, super mushrooms, antioxidants, adaptogens, and gut health prebiotics. They're vegan, gluten-free, nut-free, dairy-free. They have no artificial colors and no artificial flavors. They have one option with 0 sugar. They have another option with low sugar. I like the 0 sugar ones, because might as well, right? Now there's a special couple of things that make Groons stand out from the competition. For one, Groons is methylated. I think I pronounced that right. It's pretty much a fancy word saying that their vitamins and folate can actually be absorbed by your body. You know, some multivitamins you'll read on the back says 2,000% your daily value because you needed to cram that much in for your body to actually absorb anything. If you look at the back, boom, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100%, 100% for all the vitamins, and then 25% for all the minerals. It's an ingredient list that actually makes sense. Now personally, I love Groons just because it's a convenient way to get yourself a little bit healthier. You know, I try to eat healthy. I try to work out every day, and this is just another thing you can pile on top to make yourself a little more efficient, a little bit healthier. I've been very much enjoying the benefit to my gut health and my overall energy levels throughout the day from Groons. Another thing it's supposed to help with is help thicken your hair. Not to say it doesn't work, but I shave it every day, so couldn't tell ya. If you guys are interested in getting some Groons for yourself, I'll have a link in the description down below. You can get up to 52% off. That's a killer deal if I do say so myself. So huge thank you to Groons for sponsoring this video. Check them out, and let's get back to this Lexus. And now, so that time I actually had the one motor mount I have bolted on, and so we were actually able to get it to slot into the motor mount spot. The power steering and ABS do clear. The brake lines along the valve cover, very nice, lots of clearance. I mean, you can probably even work on stuff now. So that's very nice. The thing it does not clear yet, or like doesn't really clear well, is the subframe. It's still hitting on the middle. So I'm going to notch that a little bit more right in the middle. So we'll pull it off, do one more cut, one more test fit, and then weld it all back up. Well, we got the subframe all welded back together and painted, and it turned out really nice. Last thing we're gonna do before the chassis is 100% ready to accept the new engine is just powder coat the brackets we made. So the ABS stuff, and then those brake line mounts. Powder coat turned out really nice. I mean, that looks like it was meant to be, so I'm really happy with that. And with that, the chassis is ready to accept the 3UZ. So it's time to start working on the 3UZ. We got to do a few things to this thing. We have to put the headers on, modify them by putting V-bands on and rotating this pipe a little bit. We have to take the intake manifold off to put the harness on the starter, and we actually have to just put the entire engine harness on. We have to replace the oil pan, and then eventually, once we're ready, put the adapter plate on and the transmission. But I'm gonna go ahead and start with the most important thing, the exhaust. I got both of these exhaust manifolds with the V-bands on there, all modified, ready to go. So we're gonna throw those in. And with that, we're just gonna start a time lapse of kind of assembling the engine a bit more. Got some accessories, and then we're gonna take the intake manifold off, put the wiring harness on, start doing all that. It's just basic mechanic work. So now we can start working on adapting this W55 transmission onto the 3UZ. If you know anything about UZs, you know that they never came with a manual transmission. And so there is no just manual transmission you can buy and bolt on. You always have to adapt it in some way. Now on Yanni's car, we kind of made our own kit. We used a Facebook Marketplace adapter and then used a bell housing and then tried to make our own spacer. It ended up being a pain because we had to take the engine and trans in and out to make sure it worked, and we actually ruined some parts. But here, we have an actual adapter kit. Now this is an XAT adapter kit, which is an eBay adapter kit, or eBay brand. It's a cheap brand. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's a little better than our homemade kit. I've had some good luck with XAT stuff. I've had some really bad luck with XAT stuff. Probably wouldn't ever recommend it, but we'll see. This might go well. Pretty much you remove the bell housing off of your factory transmission, bolt this adapter onto it, then bolt a 3UZ automatic bell housing onto that, and then use their custom flywheel, clutch, GM throwout bearing, and some custom lines. So it's pretty simple. So the transmission is ready to go on. We got the 1UZ bell housing on there. We got the adapter plate, the throwout bearing, and the clutch lines all situated and nicely routed outside the transmission. Now we just have to put the clutch, flywheel, and all that on the engine. So now the engine is all ready to go in. The chassis is ready to accept the engine. It's the moment we've been waiting for. It's time to do the final install of the 3UZ into the IS300. I've been sitting here staring at this engine for like 5 minutes, like, am I forgetting anything? But 95% of the stuff can be done anyway when it's in the car. So let's just freaking put it in the car. Engine and transmission are in. Now, a little bit of bad news is that with this specific adapter kit, the transmission sits about 1.25 inches farther forward. So let's see, this is the factory transmission mount, which I guess I do have it on backwards, but you can see that it's not even close to lining up. The transmission sits farther forward, which means the shifter hole doesn't really line up, and the drive shaft does work, but that's how much engagement we're getting on the drive shaft, which is a little sketchy. XAT, I don't know why they didn't make a flywheel that spaced it out a little bit farther and just kind of moved the entire thing back that 1.25 inches, but they didn't. I know Yanni's adapter kit, now to be fair, that was a different transmission, but it placed the shifter perfectly in the center of the shifter hole and all that. But speaking of that, the first thing you always want to do when you put a adapter kit in with a new engine and trans combo, bleed the clutch and make sure it works. Because you don't want to assemble everything else, then bleed the clutch, find out it doesn't work, and then have to pull the engine to fix it. So I'm gonna go ahead and attach this to the master cylinder, attempt to bleed the clutch by myself. That might be a bit interesting, but I think we can do it, and then we can see if this clutch release works. Clutch pedal is depressed with a piece of wood. Oh yeah, and I have to get up and do it again. All right, let me move a light down here so we can actually see a little bit. But now, test if the clutch is working. You have to put the transmission in gear. Come down, downstairs, drive shaft. And go ahead and put the drive shaft in. Okay. Now notice, I can't spin the drive shaft. So now I'm gonna go depress the clutch with the rod. And now, if the clutch works, I should be able to spin this. Ha-ha! Let's go! Nice. Well, that's a relief. All right, well, we still have a lot of work to do. Obviously, we have to just reassemble it and then do the intake, the exhaust, and a lot of other little things. For now, I'm gonna do the simple stuff that I can just boom, 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 put together. I'm gonna start working on the power steering line, zip tying some of the other lines up underneath the car, put the fuel line in, yada, yada, yada. So since the adapter kit moved the transmission 1.25 inches forward, we can't use the stock transmission mount like we were hoping to. So we're gonna take a little bit of time and a little bit of scrap metal and turn this into that. So we got the trans mount installed, and with that, the engine and trans are now fully bolted in, ready to go, hopefully in there for their last time. But there are only a few more things that we need to do until this thing is ready to run. The first thing is making an intake. We have to have the math in order for this thing to run. So we're gonna go and do that now. And then we have to finish up the power steering system. With those things, they can idle, reach operating temp, all that. Once it's running, the final touch will be fabricating an exhaust. But for now, let's focus on that intake. The main body of the intake is done. Some nice ply cuts, nice welds. Now we just have to add the mass airflow flange and a hose barb for one of the valve cover vents. I like it. Now I still have to make a mount for the intake and do all the plumbing, but for now I want to go ahead and fabricate the last thing that we need to in the engine bay, which is the power steering reservoir. I'm going to essentially make one of these, a little cylindrical reservoir that will directly attach to the pump and sit something about there. But we have to modify the inlet to the pump and make a whole new one of these because this one's kind of ruined and ugly. So that's just tacked together now, but the new inlet to the pump, just kind of notched it so it's pointing in the right direction. You can see the power steering pump, that little adapter we just made, a hose, and then I have a aluminum hose barb stuck in there. And you can see it sits right nicely by this timing cover. And then we grab this piece of aluminum tubing and it's gonna be awesome. We just have to make a cap for the bottom and the top and put on a, actual screw-on cap and then mount it to that bolt right over there. So I'm gonna go ahead and install this pressure line now. No pressure. Oh, fuck. God damn. damn, that is ear-piercing. Aluminum falling from that far. Oh my God. Okay. So that's the power steering system all finished. Look how awesome that turned out. You got the 6A in return going into the side of it, the feed going down. It's like all right there, and there's not hoses going everywhere. It's not sticking out, and it looks cool. It's aluminum. So should we put some power steering fluid in it? See if it leaks all over the floor? Bon appetit. The first fluid going into this vehicle. The customer specifically requested this Valvoline engine oil.
He's like me.
So roughly 2 weeks later, I am back. While I was gone, Yanni came and wired up the car. Very simple, it's just a matter of re-pinning things. There were some issues with the harness, some missed wires, broken wires that I had missed, but Yanni got it running, and it sounds beautiful. But if you listen closely, you'll notice that it doesn't have an exhaust. And so the final step is to build an exhaust for this car, and then get it running and driving, get all the little things dialed in. This is going to be a pretty intricate exhaust. For one, it's going to have some high flow catalytic converters. The customer provided these. They're nice and small, nice and see-through-ish. We've got motorsports bellows, lots of 2.5-inch piping, lots of 3-inch piping, lots of V-bands. Going to be a dual 2.5 into a single 3-inch. And once we get to that 3-inch section, we've got 2 different mufflers. We've got a nice large size resonator and a beautiful twin tip muffler for the back. Now remember, you guys can get all of these parts off of emindustries.com. Actually, technically I take that back, you can't get the catalytic converters, but everything else you can get. Plus we have a lot of fuel system parts, fuel pumps, fuel pressure regulators, fuel injectors, or maybe you need something else. Email info@emindustries.com. But let's get started. I think the plan is to pretty much put these cats as high up as possible. The hotter the cat, the more effective it is. And then build a Y-pipe and a single. So I got these 2 to 2.5-inch adapters welded onto the V-bands coming off of the headers. The first thing we're gonna add to this exhaust are the high flow catalytic converters. Gonna throw one right about here, right about here. We're gonna come straight and then have the 2 flex pipes. Now we need like little 45-degree sections of flex pipe on them. Got a 13 and 14-inch section. I'm gonna go ahead and take these 2 sections out and fully weld them up. So we got those pieces welded up, welds are looking nice, everything's fitting nicely. The next step is to go ahead and build the Y-pipe. So we have this Y pipe made, and if we come over to the car, you can see it almost fits, but it doesn't quite line up. I had an idea that's gonna make lining all this up easier. I'm gonna use the tube expander and expand both of the long straight 45s so that another 2.5 inch can slot inside of it. Then I'll weld some straights onto the Y pipe section, and I can kind of just tack it in place and it'll have a little bit of play and movement. That way it doesn't have to be like that perfect millimeter accuracy. Because with the little table saw, that's really hard to do, to get it perfectly accurate. Very nice. So the dual 2-inch section of the 2 catalytic converters is done. Now we can start on the 3-inch section. So that's the majority of the 3-inch section done. It's actually quite simple. It's all straight besides one 9-degree pie cut right there. Now you might notice there's a lot of V-bands, 1, 2, 3 in this, 3-foot long section. That's because the customer wanted this to be a replaceable test pipe. So pretty much I made an exact replica of that with just a straight tube that's not a muffler. So if he wants it to be louder, he can replace that with the tube. So I'm gonna pull this out and weld it up, and then we're gonna hang this section. So that section of the exhaust is hung now. I'm still having it supported by this. The last step is to connect our Vibrant Street Power muffler. So it's a nice twin tip little muffler. I already cut the bumper to kind of fit the tips. We'll dial that in. It really just needs to have like a nice little tight 90 coming off of that. We'll probably trim it down, going into the muffler. And I'm pretty confident I can turn this into that. Looks like it should work. Well, the exhaust is all finished up, looking freaking fantastic. I'm very happy with the way it turned out. It was actually a very simple exhaust. But now, we are ready to go ahead and start it. Well, there you go. Sounds very quiet back here. And it's so clean because of the cats. That's actually really nice. Let it warm up a bit and give it some revs. I don't think we can rev it right now because the math isn't quite working, but we'll try. Off camera, we bled the brakes, bled the clutch, got the front bumper actually bolted on, bled the power steering system, tidied up some wiring, did kind of fix the math, but not quite. It revs now, so there's that. But without further ado, it's time for a test drive, because we gotta make sure that this thing runs and drives nicely, because the owner's picking it up. Wait, what the fuck? The check engine light's gone. About a month of work has gone into this. Sounds really good. I'm very happy with that. That's pretty quick, honestly. This gear ratio is so short. Oh yeah, it's got some power. Didn't spin first. It got sideways a little bit there. It's got an LSD, so it spins both wheels. I've done like a week worth of dialing in on this thing. So many little things, mostly wiring related. Got them all figured out, or at least fingers crossed. This is the last test drive before the owner comes and we do the dyno. I'm putting some miles on it to see if the check engine light comes back on. This car drives so smooth. It's so fast. It is such an awesome car. Like, this is the perfect daily. It's got really short gearing, which I feel like would suit like a coupe better, like Yanni's car, because this thing sucks on the highway. Going 70, you're at like 3,500 RPM. But everywhere else, it's an absolute blast. I'm super proud of this car and this build, and especially super proud that I did it so quickly, and it's been flawless since the first assembly. It revs so quick, like, oh man, this makes me want to 3UZ swap everything. I think partially it's due to the stock motor mounts, but it really is so smooth. I mean, this is just a smooth engine in general, but I love this combo. Like, that second and third gear is crazy. I really like the way it sounds too. It's tame, but it sounds good. It just keeps pulling. It's crazy. Like, I'll be honest, the engine I chose for my Miata was not a 3UZ, but this makes me second guess that decision. Like, this is stock ECU. That's what people don't get. Like, this swap is really easy. It's like, oh, why don't you just turbo the 2JZ? This is infinitely better. Yes, this makes less power than a turbo 2JZ GE would. That don't matter a bit. So I drove probably 30 miles, maybe, yeah, probably about 30 miles. No check engine light. Now, every time the check engine light has popped on, it's been as I'm pulling into the driveway. And I'm about to pull into my driveway, so we'll see. We're good, no check engine light. Alrighty, here we go. .278 at 5,400 RPM. So So that ended up making 286 horsepower at 5,400 RPM. You can see that it does rev all the way to 7,100 RPMs, but it, you know, it starts dropping off after that 5,400 mark. It doesn't drop off that much though. It's still making 250 wheel horsepower at redline there. So, and then that red line is the 2JZ, the boat anchor. You can see big difference. The 3UZ in there. I'm gonna guess 3520.
More? So we said 3480 last
3480 was what it was, yep.
time. I mean, I'm gonna say 3450.
Okay, both very close.
Oh.
Wow, look at that.
So 10 pounds
10
lighter.
pounds less, which goes to show it definitely removes weight from the nose.
Yeah.
Because all the weight that we probably added was in exhaust and stuff that's farther back in the car. 10, 20 pounds less on the nose, I mean, it's something.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same, but it's something.
Yeah, you definitely can't skip leg day with this car.
No, yeah, it's pretty heavy. And I'm pretty used to heavy clutches, like my Miata's got a really heavy clutch, and after driving this, I went back into that thing and it felt really light. I was like, oh, that really goes to show. I do, it's like the perfect volume-wise.
And with that intake too, you can really hear the throttle.
I love that you can actually hear that. Off to slay the dragon. 2 days later, 400 miles.
400 miles, yeah.
They made it back.
Made it back
without
no problems.
any, well, there was one problem. The AC compressor clutch just fell off. I didn't touch this, just from the factory, it just fell
brand
off.
new, brand new
brand new,
Denso.
what the heck? Come on, Denso.
Tame Telus Dragon.
Okay.
Cruised the Cherrahala Skyway, and then we survived Blood Mountain. So pretty
Nice.
much every car guy's dream, right? What could you ask for?
Yeah, a great combo of dry roads up in the
Yeah,
Appalachians.
for sure. It did great. I mean, super smooth. I mean, the exhaust was fantastic, not overbearing whatsoever. But you know, when you get on it, it still sounds really, really good.
I'm glad you like it. And you brought your son, obviously, so that was your first time doing any car stuff too, yeah?
Sorry.
So are you gonna get a 1UZ something now?
Yeah, I might hand him down one of my cars. When he gets
Okay. And you got a lot of Hondas, yeah?
yeah, TSX, S2000. It's
pretty cool.
But yeah, I mean, you know, I think this is really what it's all about, you know, the whole experience.
Absolutely.
The experiences and the memories that you make with cars is really what it's all about. At least,
sure.
At least for me. So something like this that, you know, I can enjoy and actually make memories with my son. I mean, for me, this is something that's going to be just unforgettable. And thanks to you, Caleb, for, you know, making that happen for sure.
Absolutely, yeah. I'm glad I met the deadline. There was a couple moments there we did not think that was going to happen.
It was close. I mean, so much had to happen for us to get to this point. I mean, so many emails, text messages, logistics, planning, because again, we're 900 miles away in Houston. So to get to this point right now, a lot had to happen. And it came down to the wire.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, and like I took a vacation when I had the car, so I probably should have done that. But shout out to Yanni and I guess all the companies that were involved in getting the parts there on time and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. All right, well, that's that. Thanks again, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, the car's still here because we're getting some things dialed in. This car has to be perfect for when it goes back home. So it's got some weird exhaust rattle. Gonna fix that. And the AC compressor doesn't actually turn on. Gonna fix that. And we're just gonna tidy up some of the brake lines back there. But man, I just wanna kind of end this video with a debrief because it's my first video that I've spent this long making. It's my first engine swap for a customer. It's a big change. I mean, for the past 3 weeks, I haven't uploaded. And you guys, maybe you think I'm just off slacking, but it was putting hours into this. I worked every day, pretty much every day on this thing for the past 3 weeks, besides when I was out of town. And man, whew, I don't know if I want to do another in-depth engine swap for a customer quite yet. Kind of when I was talking to Aaron and quoting it out and all that kind of stuff, I forgot how many little things go into it. And also for a swap like this, where you want it to be perfect, OEM plus, you gotta have AC, you gotta all like the no lights on the dash and all that kind of stuff. That is a time sink. And so I've definitely been stressed out for the past, few days, past few weeks really, getting this thing perfect. Probably would have been done with it 2 weeks ago if it was just, throwing this engine into like a Miata kind of thing, because it ran and drove and ripped. But I do want to get it perfect for Aaron, so we're doing that. I don't know, we'll see. I think I really prefer more focusing on the fabrication stuff, because I had to do a lot of wiring on this, and I don't like doing that. A lot of wiring and a lot of diagnosing. Fabricating, somebody just tells me what they want me to build, and I build it. I love that. It's great. It's challenging, problem solving, but I know everything that is involved in that process. Diagnosing wiring issues and stuff like that, don't like that. But I want to give a huge thanks to Aaron for trusting me and doing this project for him. I mean, he just saw a video on YouTube and reached out and trusted to ship the car all the way over here, took all the effort to actually come here. He was super on top of being communicative with all the parts that he had to get. And like, he was such a pleasure to work with. So thank you, Aaron. I'm sure you're watching this. Now guys, if you have a project that you are interested in having some work done on, please reach out. You can go to emindustries.com, submit a build submission form. Please, only fabrication stuff right now. Don't really want to install your parts. Don't really want to do any wiring for you. I want to fab some stuff for you. If you want to support the channel separately, you can check out Patreon, where you'll get access to free merch and access to exclusive updates. My patrons were with me every step of the way of this build. And of the next build, which is that Fox Body Mustang. And man, this one is a fun one. Fitting that turbo in there was a challenge. Lots of fabricating, lots of cool noises. And that will be next weekend. No more big 3-week breaks. Not doing this big of a project for a while. Do have some big stuff coming in November and December, but not yet. The rest of October and most of November is me finishing my own projects. We gotta get the drift truck done, and we have a bunch of parts for the Tundra. So guys, thank you for being patient. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. I almost wanna keep rambling on so it makes it to the hour mark. I don't think I have any video that's an hour of actual content, but I'm not gonna just sit here and ramble. Or maybe I will, or maybe I won't. Or maybe, I got you. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace out.
And huge thank you again to Groons for sponsoring this video. Check them out in the link below if you are interested.